Let's now cross live to Arewa House in Kaduna State, where Arewa Think Tank is holding a one-day public lecture to commemorate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. The event brings together scholars, policymakers, and regional leaders to reflect on the country's unity, governance, and economic direction. Delivering the keynote is the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is expected to speak on the theme of national development and inter-regional cooperation
and the unbroken spirit of the Nigerian people. This one-day national lecture, organized by the Arewa think tank under the visionary leadership of its chief convener, Alhaji Muhammad Yakubu, brings together some of the greats of Nigeria's finest minds and leaders, men and women, devoted to the unity, progress, and prosperity of our dear country. The theme for this national lecture, 65 years of Nigeria's independence, the journey so far with a renewed hope agenda of our dear, ebullient, indefatigable, visionary President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in focus. This theme is both reflective and forward-looking. It reminds us that whilst we have a long way as a nation, our greatest achievements still lie ahead, guided by faith, vision, and renewed hope. We are honored to have an array of distinguished guests gracing this event today. Our esteemed chief host, a quintessential icon and leader, His Excellency Senator Ubasani, the dynamic governor of Kaduna State, the man whose leadership continues to inspire peace, development, and inclusion. Our distinguished reformist guest lecturer, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the ever-innovative and people-focused governor of Lagos State. Sir, we are delighted to have you here today as our guest lecturer. Please, a round of applause for him. And of course, the distinguished chairman of this occasion, His Excellency Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, GCON, President of the 5th Senate and Secretary to Government of the Federation, a barrister at law, and a true statesman. Sir, we thank you for your leadership, and your esteemed presence here means so much to us. Our special guests of honor, elder statesman, Chief Adebisi Akonde CFR, and of course, the chieftain and our elder statesman, Arewa Segun Oshoba. We welcome you, we appreciate you. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this 65th Independence National Lecture is not only a commemoration, but a conversation about and over our nation's past, present, and future. It's about rekindling the renewed hope that drives Nigeria's journey towards greater greatness under the watch of our ebullient President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So on behalf of Arewa Think Tank, I say welcome to a day of reflection, a day of inspiration and national pride. And I don't want to preempt the guest lecturer. By the time our guest lecturer is done with his lecture, you would have a better understanding as to why President Tinubu is the man for the job 2027, and indeed the man to beat. So to begin this memorable event, may I respectfully invite the chief convener for his welcome remarks. Please join me. Before the welcome remarks, I would like to quickly show a clip of just about 2 minutes for our distinguished guest lecturer, chairman, and all our distinguished guests to understand what Nigeria and the world thinks of Nigeria under the watch of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Please, let's watch. The video, please. Time is of the essence. Okay, it looks like there's a glitch. If it's not coming up, if it's not coming on, so we can invite the chief convener for his remarks of welcome. That's it on the screen. This is Happy Independence Day message from foreign countries that are celebrating with Nigeria this very unique 65th independence. Da Allah na ce a yi shiru ba, idan aka fara na ce ku yi shiru don Allah. And if you must speak, speak in semitone so that we can hear you. Ear to ear. If we're having challenges, please, Your Excellencies, let me invite the Chief Convener, Arewa Think Tank, Alhaji Muhammad Yakubu, to please welcome his distinguished guests and all the distinguished personalities that are here. Alhaji Muhammad Yakubu.
Yeah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to stand on existing protocol. I want to specially express our gratitude to our father, Chief Baba Bisi Akande. This is the second time we are bringing him to Kaduna. This is a mark and a show of confidence and trust in Arewa Think Tank. We thank you, sir. Straight to the welcome speech, sir. While I'm giving the welcome speech, if the clip is ready, it's just a minute clip. We can play it and I can just pause. It's a great honor to stand before you today as part of the extended activities from October, commemorating Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. I warmly welcome His Excellency, Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. His Excellency, we can't thank you enough, because before this day, I had communicated with you on the phone 3 times. This shows the kind of e-governance.
Happy Independence Day, Nigeria! Hi everybody, I'm from Colombia. Happy Independence, Nigeria! Thank you.
Alexander, Christina from Spain. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria!
Let me continue, sir. This shows the kind of digital governance exhibited in Lagos. This shows how far you have taken Lagos to. I wish most of the states, if it is possible to amend our constitution, after your time, we borrow you to our own state. Thank you, sir. Permit me to remind us that Lagos played a central role on October 1st, 1960, the historical date Nigeria gained its independence at Tafawa Balewa Square. The Union Jack was lowered and Nigeria flag hoisted, a defining moment that marked the birth of a sovereign nation. Lagos, the political and economic hub of our young nation, became the stage on which our journeys for self-determination began. Today, Governor Sanwo-Olu continues that legacy by transforming Lagos into a global city of pride. Equally, Kaduna, once the capital of the northern region, remains cornerstone of Nigeria history and leadership under Governor Obasani. Kaduna has witnessed renewed unity, peaceful coexistence, and inclusive governance. This is no surprise that Kaduna was again ranked Nigeria's most transparent and accountable state by the Center for Fiscal Transparency, Public Integrity. It is a reflection of governance model driven by reform and integrity. It is no mere coincidence that we picked Governor Sanwo-Olu today and Governor Obasani. These were the 2 places where the history of Nigerian independence started. As we reflect on the 65th independence, we must cherish the legacy, unity, sacrifice handed over to us by our founding fathers. Our visionary leaders envisaged a Nigeria that will lead the black race. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, we are beginning to see a tangible steps towards our destiny. We are sure President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu will take us to the promised land. Inshallah. Just last week, we received a powerful affirmation of this renewed hope agenda. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abu Kyari, announced that a landmark $500 million loan facility from the World Bank, alongside monumental $14 billion Agri-Connect initiative. This financial injection is a strategic masterstroke to revolutionize our agriculture. The initiative will have direct impact on our farmers, connect our farmers to the market and finance, and integrate our vibrant MSMEs into the value chain of staples like rice, maize, soya beans, cassava, and very definition of food sovereignty. Our nation has made commendable progress in economic growth, education, and infrastructure. From 120 secondary schools in 1960 to over 23,000 today, and from a handful university to more than 270 universities, Nigeria has evolved. That's why we have the chairman of NUC today here, Professor Olu Aina. Under President Tinubu, reforms have begun to yield results. Inflation dropped to its lowest in 3 years, and fiscal discipline has strengthened our economy. The IMF and the Financial Action Task Force have both acknowledged Nigeria's reform trajectory and delisting Nigeria from the grey list, affirming that we are on the right path. However, we celebrate this milestone. We must remain vigilant against subtle attempts by Western interests to undermine our unity. Recent remarks by the President of America, United States, Donald Trump, branding Nigeria as a country of particular concern, are nothing but a veiled attempt to sow religious discord and destabilize our peace. We in the Arewa think tank reject this narrative outright. Nigeria's challenges are not religious, they are developmental, and they affect all faiths and ethnicity. We condemn any foreign-backed agenda that seeks to divide us and urge us compatriots not to become instruments for manipulation. Our sovereignty is not negotiable. We will continue to engage the world on our own terms with confidence, dignity, and conviction that Nigeria can solve its problems. Indeed, the ongoing transformation in the oil sector exemplified by Aliko Dangote is a proof that Nigeria's ingenuity can reshape our destiny. The refinery meets our domestic demand and position Nigeria as a global player in energy production. We commend the government's swift action in addressing recent threats to disrupt and urge decisive measures against any group that undermines our strategic national asset. The same spirit of innovation drives the diversification effort like the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative, which is boosting foreign reserve and strengthening our naira through local mines resources. This, combined with new agricultural push, forms a powerful trajectory for our economy. Energy self-sufficient, minerals, wealth, and now agro-economic sovereignty, and creates wealth for generations to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at the turn of our 65th anniversary, we do so with a renewed faith in Nigerian project. Despite our challenges, we are not a failed state. We are a nation in steady motion towards greatness. Let us resist any attempt to divide us, embrace our shared destiny, and commit to building a Nigeria that truly works for all of us. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. The tone setting and remarks of the chief convener of this program, Alhaji Muhammad Yakubu. Please, a round of applause for him one more time. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, we're being told, Mr. Chairman, that we should skip all the videos that we have penciled down to be played. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the chairman and MD CEO of the Dangote Groups, sent in a video, a very short clip of 1 minute and some seconds. If hence we've been told to skip, we want to plead with you, sir, to permit us to play just that one, and one on the executive Governor of Lagos State, who is our guest lecturer here, before he comes to the podium to deliver his lecture. If I have your kind permission, sir. Thank you. So if you have that of Alhaji Aliko Dangote ready, can we have it? It's not ready, so we can move on. Permit me at this juncture, Your Excellencies, to then invite a man who is detribalized, a statesman of uncommon grace and patriotism, a man whose name is etched in the annals of Nigeria's democratic journey, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, GCON, a distinguished former President of the Senate and former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who today sits pretty very tall as the chairman of this occasion. Please, a warm round of applause for him. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Your Excellency, our guest lecturer, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Your Excellency, our Chief Host, the Governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Senator Obasani, the Honorable Minister of Defense, His Excellency Mohammed Badiru Abubakar, our leaders and elders present, His Excellency Chief Bisi Akonde, His Excellency Chief Shegu Oshoba, former Governor of Kaduna State, Ramalan Yaro, former Governor of Lagos State, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well, let me clearly say that we have informed the MC that we have barely 2 hours to spend here. And much of those 2 hours will go to the guest lecturer. So whatever you are doing, Mr. MC, cut short your own comments. It's getting too long, and maybe you are trying to take the place of the guest lecturer. My dear guest lecturer, you can be sure I won't take your place. I'll be very brief so that we can round up quickly and hear you speak. So the event of today is to hear the guest lecturer speak. It was difficult for me to make this trip, but I think I was so anxious and desirous to hear the guest lecturer speak. And so I had a commitment to be here. Let me therefore start by conveying my sincere appreciation for the honor to chair this special occasion that has brought together very eminent Nigerians from all walks of life and who have traveled from all over Nigeria to this historic city of Kaduna. Chief Akonde, you are welcome to Kaduna. Chief Oshoba, you are welcome to Kaduna. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to Kaduna. Let me also congratulate and commend the Arewa think tank for putting together this program. Every opportunity we can find to come together, to exchange ideas and interrogate issues that will strengthen our unity, strengthen our bond of friendship and brotherhood, should command our attention. And that is the reason we are here, and that is the purpose of this interaction. Again, I say to Mohammed Alhaji Yakubu and his team at the Arewa think tank, congratulations for the effort you have put in organizing this event. The letter of invitation sent to me themed this event as follows: 65 years of Nigeria independence anniversary. The journey so far, the renewed hope agenda in view. And the lecture will discuss renewed hope agenda and its implication for national development, foster collaboration and engagement among stakeholders from the North and beyond. The above, to my mind, is a clear summary of the business of today. And I have no doubt whatsoever that our guest lecturer, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, is more than able to do justice to this subject matter. From the theme of this event, I am quick to identify three features that have attracted my attention. One, this event is to celebrate Nigeria at 65. I want to say that whatever it takes and wherever it takes to celebrate Nigeria, I will be there, I will be part of it, and I will be proud of it. So I'm certainly proud to be here. Two, this event is to further citizens' engagement with the government on key government policies, programs, and activities. It may be needful to emphasize that the policies, programs, and activities of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is captured under the generic theme, Renewed Hope Agenda. Renewed Hope Agenda can therefore be described as the totality of all policies and programs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. I must say at this point that stakeholders' engagement is fundamental to the success of any policy and program of government. It is through this process that the government can secure the buy-in and understanding of the citizens in order for the citizens to truly support such programs. I therefore commend this initiative as one way to strengthen our democracy and stabilize our policy, our polity. I must therefore add that it is only an accountable government that engages the people. If the president and his team, is this government of APC at the federal level and even at the state level, were not sure of what they are doing, they will not be reluctant or forward to give account of their stewardship to the people. This citizens' government engagement is critical to be sure that the government and the people are in tandem and understand each other to make sure that the policies and programs are acceptable to the people. The third feature I identified on this event is the personality of the guest lecturer, a quintessential administrator whose public service career has spanned Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Honorable Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, and Honorable Commissioner for Establishment, Training and Pensions, and now Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Apart from the above administrative credentials of the guest lecturer, I wish to add that the guest lecturer is not just a career politician, but a foundation member of the All Progressive Congress, APC. I am therefore to say that he is well suited to give account of the renewed hope agenda of the APC government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome all of you to this event, holding in this popular auditorium, Arewa House, Kaduna. You may recall that just about 3 months ago, around July 29th to 30th, and right in this auditorium, our dear Governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Senator Obasani, played host to a 2-day interactive session organized by Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, themed Assessing Electoral Promises, Fostering Government Citizens' Engagement for National Unity. That event provided a platform for all appointees of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to give account of the performances of their respective departments in delivering the dividends of this government's renewed hope agenda. That event was explosive, it was incisive, and it was indeed educative. Today, the Arewa Think Tank Group presents to us an opportunity to hear from an administrator that was groomed by Mr. President, a diligent and dedicated public servant, known for clarity of expression, detailed in documentation, and adorned with wisdom and acumen. Who else is better fitted to summarize all that you have had before on the scorecard of the Renewed Hope agenda and deliver it in a most unambiguous manner, other than His Excellency Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State. In view of these two events and many more, permit me to return to His Excellency Governor Obasani and to observe that the city of Kaduna is renowned for charting a course for national stability. But I must add that Your Excellency's administration, I mean Governor Obasani's administration in Kaduna State, is fast assuming the status of a compass for national rebirth. I congratulate you for the work you are doing to stabilize our nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will say no more other than to crave your attention and hear from the man who will deliver it as it is. As you listen to the guest lecturer, may we all be inspired to renew our hope, our faith, our love, and our confidence in our dear country, Nigeria. I thank you all.
I'm not satisfied with that round of applause. We can do better for the chairman of this occasion with a resounding applause, please. One more time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Your Excellency, the distinguished chairman, Your Excellency, the host governor ably represented, Your Excellency, our very erudite, distinguished guest lecturer, permit me to rest on the established protocol. At this point,
so I can't
please,
help you
what
with
are
that.
you doing? Play it. Don't play anything except I tell you to, please. May I, for want of time, invite the governor who is our chief host today, the executive governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Senator Obasani CON, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Secretary to the State Government, I beg your pardon. In the near future, you'll be SGF by God's grace. Please, let's welcome the SSG as he speaks on behalf of the Executive Governor of Kaduna State.
The chairman of this occasion and former Senate President, His Excellency Senator Pius Anyim Pius, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, who is the key lecturer, other former governors here present. The MC have instructed us to adopt the established protocol, and I would wish to take permission to abide, but permit me to especially recognize two elder statesmen, Elder Chief Bisi Akande and Elder Chief Olusegun Oshoba. Thank you and welcome to Kaduna. Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, as you are aware, you played host to Governor Obasani in Lagos yesterday. You are still playing host to him, even in absentia. So Governor Obasani, CON, is not able to physically be present here today. And he instructed me to represent him and read his speech. And his speech goes as follows. It gives me immense pleasure to serve as the chief host at this 65th Independent Anniversary Lecture, aptly themed The Journey So Far with the Renewed Hope Agenda in View. I welcome you warmly to Kaduna State, the historic center of learning, the intellectual heartland of northern Nigeria, and a place where the nation's story continues to be written through the courage of its people and the power of its ideas. I commend the Arewa think tank for sustaining a tradition of reflection and discourse. Through such conversations, nations renew themselves. Through the honest exchange of thoughts and ideas, societies find the courage to reform and to grow. Your choice of my brother, distinguished governor of Lagos State, as the guest lecturer reveals a discerning sense of judgment. Governor Baba Jide Sanwo-Olu embodies a spirit of pragmatic leadership and a visionary governance. His achievements in Lagos, a macrocosm of Nigeria's complexity and potential, have been guided by intellect, courage, fidelity to purpose. He has aligned Lagos with the principles of the Renewed Hope agenda, translating aspiration into measurable progress. He therefore speaks to us today not in theory, but from experience. Before he takes the podium, permit me to reflect briefly on the essence of the Renewed Hope agenda, the philosophical and policy framework propelling the vision of our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The question, why Renewed Hope, invites us to remember the national mood from which this agenda emerged. When President Tinubu assumed office, our country stood at a perilous crossroads. The economy was fragile, faith in public institutions wavered, and the social fabric strained. It was a season that demanded not rhetoric, but resolve. Not half measures, but courageous choices. In answering that historic call, President Tinubu set forth a bold reform agenda, an audacious blueprint for stability, growth, and inclusion. The Renewed Hope agenda is not a slogan. It is a structured national rescue plan aimed at restoring macroeconomic balance, stimulating production, creating employment, and lifting millions from poverty. It seeks to create the enabling conditions in which enterprise can thrive, capital can find confidence, and every Nigerian, irrespective of place of birth, state of origin, social or religious persuasions, can aspire to dignity and prosperity. The impact of this vision is steadily unfolding across the sectors. We have seen renewed momentum in fiscal reform, in security management, in educational expansion, and in infrastructure renewal. Across the North, a quiet renaissance is taking root. Roads and bridges are knitting communities closer, markets are awakening, the non-neglected rural economy is thriving again. In agriculture, the very livelihood of the North, we are witnessing an unprecedented transformation. We heard the convener. Farmers now work with solar-powered irrigation systems and mechanized implements. Climate-smart innovations are redefining rural livelihoods. Agribusiness is replacing subsistence farming. No administration in our history, and the governor repeats, no administration in our history has empowered subnational governments in agricultural transformation as profoundly as President Tinubu's. Here in Kaduna, we have embraced the spirit and substance of the Renewed Hope agenda. We have completed or are at the verge of completing projects long abandoned, not for applause, but to restore faith in governance. We are investing in enduring institutions rather than transient monuments. We are extending opportunity to those whom fortune has overlooked. We are building a state defined by inclusion, discipline, and accountability. Our purpose is clear: to make Kaduna a model for pragmatic reform and human-centered development within the larger federation. As we gather to mark the 65 years of independence of our great country, let us look beyond the challenges of the present and see the horizon of possibility. The President has shown rare courage, clarity, and composure in steering the Nigerian state through turbulent waters. The economy is regaining balance, investor confidence is returning, hope is being rekindled, and homes and communities are being rebuilt. We're in the cups of renewal, and the smiles that will soon return to the faces of our people will testify to the vision of endurance and collective faith. I thank our esteemed guest lecturer for honoring us with his presence, and I thank you all, leaders of thought, scholars, patriots, and friends, for gracing this occasion. May this conversation inspire us to dream again, to act with integrity, and to build together the Nigeria we all deserve. God bless you all. God bless Kaduna State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Obasani, Governor, Kaduna State.
Thank you very much. Please, I'd like that we make that applause for him a bit louder than that. The Governor of Kaduna State speaking through the Secretary to the state government. Please, can we have that video that is to launch our guest lecturer quickly? Thank you. We'll move the podium close to the guest lecturer such that he'll have it with ease instead of moving him up and down. The chairman has quietly granted us and graciously granted that we move the podium. So can you please assist me quickly? We don't intend for that to take too much of our time. I could just go back straight with the kind permission of the chairman, introducing our distinguished guest lecturer. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to celebrate a man whose vision and innovation are redefining modern governance in Nigeria. A quintessential leader par excellence, an achiever of distinction, and the infrastructure guru of our time. His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State. He has shown what focused, futuristic leadership looks like. Under his watch, Lagos has continued to transform into a true mega modern city, a model for smart urban development and sustainable progress across Africa. From the 4 functional rail lines to the 5th one that is in the offing, now moves thousands of people in Lagos daily, and of course to the modern water transportation system, easing the flow of traffic and across the metropolis, and the breathtaking estates rising even on water in Lagos. Mr. Sanwo-Olu is providing that creativity and competence can coexist in leadership. Your Excellency, sir, your vision you've transformed into reality, building not just infrastructure, but also confidence in Lagos. Lagos today stands as a beacon of what is possible when leadership meets innovation and vision meets execution. Your Excellency, we salute your courage, your innovation, your unwavering commitment to progress, and you are a true leader shaping the future of urban Nigeria and a true apostle of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju 2027. Your Excellency, you have the microphone and the floor, sir. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Thank you very much. It's indeed an honor to be here this morning. Let me start by warmly acknowledging the chairman of this event, one of our very best, a distinguished senator, and a one-time president of the Senate, Senator Aim Pius Aim. Thank you very much, sir, for your leadership and for the great work you continue to do with our country. Let me also acknowledge my brother, the governor of Kaduna State, a comrade like myself, Senator Comrade Ubasani, CON, extremely very hardworking governor who in a short time has indeed shown the Kaduna people that real peace, real reconciliation can be achieved. But he's here ably represented by his SSG, Dr. Mayere. Incidentally, and so that we say it, Governor Ubasani is actually in Lagos delivering a similar lecture that I'm here doing in Kaduna. And you can see that my brother and I share a lot in common. And today he's also a guest lecturer in the city of Lagos. So please, let's give him a Kaduna round of applause, and he knows that we're cheering him up. To my fathers and my leaders that have humbly joined me here today, they're part of the class of the 1999, still arguably the best of public officers and governors that ushered in this democracy. My father, Chief BC Akonde, aka Baba Awomo KKK, and an erudite journalist, one of the men that has taken, the conversation of Nigeria to the highest level, the Arewa himself, His Excellency Arewa Olusegun Oshoba. Between the two of them, they are getting closer to 200 than 150. And so let's clap God for their life. My prayer is that God will continue to give them the strength to continue to lead us. All right. Your Excellency, the former governor of Jigawa State, my leader, my friend, my brother, who is also now the Minister of Defense, Excellency Muhammad Baduru Abubakar, thank you very much for coming. Your Excellency, the former Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Mukhtar Ramalan Yaro, thank you very much, sir, for coming. I want to acknowledge, because I also have former Deputy Governors from Lagos, but to acknowledge a very, very big Lagos contingent that have humbly joined me here today, members of the Governor's Advisory Council that have come, each and every one. I want to thank you very, very much. You've come here to show solidarity. You've come to show an handshake across Niger that indeed Lagos is not just a city, but it's a place that represents Nigeria. And to all my KBSCs that have woken up very early to come and give you the real Yoruba Irukore. Thank you very much. The Anyoburi of Ikorodu, the Alara of Ilara, the Oniba of Iba, and the Oba of Igbobisabe. Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator Adefuye. Thank you, Senator Ganiu Solomon. Thank you, Alhaji Mutiu Are. Thank you, Honorable Jumoke Okoya. Thank you, Otuma Femi Pedro. And of course, thank you, Mr. Colinius Ojelabi Patti and Mr. Honorable Tunde Balogun. Thank you very, very much. I feel truly honored and proud. To all of our friends that have joined us from the print media, thank you very much. Father, thank you very much. Both, thank you. The convener, who also have deemed it fit to continue to do this great work for our country, Alhaji Mohammed, Alhaji Yakubu. I think he deserves another big round of applause. Thank you for remembering us and for humbly, inviting me to this event. We had to adjust our time on one or two occasions, but I'm truly, truly excited that I can be here today. To all of my citizens from different parts across the Niger that have come here, I say Sanu, Sanu, Sanu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's always an interesting thing when you ask a public servant who thought that his main objective is really to activate infrastructure, to build roads, to build schools, to build drainages, to ensure that people can move from one part to the other. When you now ask the person to come and deliver a lecture, then it means that I have to think back and know how to do research, how to be professorial, and how to truly, really out of a box. So today, while my speech can be as much as 777, I have attempted to reduce it to just 277, but I will ensure that we have a conversation, have a conversation on this very important, so that all of us will be truly blessed, and we will have course of conversing and reviewing how far we have gone as a people. I've been asked to speak on a very important topic, the 65 years of Nigeria's independence, the journey so far, with the renewed hope agenda in view. You have invited me to reflect on the last 65 years of our country's independence and to examine how the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency, a man that I call his name with every sense of responsibility and with humility, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my benefactor, my father, my leader, the man that carries the title of GCFR now, and in shaping the post-independence journey in the last 6 decades. But let me start to thank the organizers of this event, the very respected Arewa think tank. Through your informed and engaged social political advocacy, you have been a huge supporter of His Excellency, Mr. President. You have demonstrated great love for our country and a strong commitment to its growth and development. Arewa House has been a place of history. It will begin with a reflection on this historic venue of our gathering here today, the Arewa House, which now serves as a center for historic documentation and research of the Ahmadu Bello University's area. Arewa House holds a significant place in our nation's political history as a home of one of Nigeria's most distinguished and accomplished statesmen, the late Sardauna of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello, GCON, KBE, a founding father of post-independence Nigeria, president of the Northern People's Congress, and the first and only premier of the then Northern Nigeria. He lived on this ground until his death almost 60 years ago. In fact, he died here as well. But while the late Sardauna's physical presence may no longer be with us, his ideas, his legacy endures till today. It's immortalized in many developmental projects he initiated. The grandness of his ambition for the northern Nigeria and beyond, and his political and philosophical vision. In his memoir, My Life, Sir Ahmadu Bello writes of visiting Lagos for the first time in 1949 with his friend, the Wali of Borno. The visit sparked a political awakening in him and gave him a greater appreciation of the sheer complexity of Nigeria at that time. And he wrote, and I quote, "When I went to Lagos in 1949, I met for the first time and I saw in action Nigerian politicians of the caliber of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. And I began to see that we are in the North would have to take politics seriously before very long. If we did not do so, we should be left far behind in the future governmental development of Nigeria." That's a man of vision, almost 70 years ago, way back in over 70 years ago, I dare say, way back in 1949. And one very striking feature of the late Sardauna was his hunger and desire for the development of northern Nigeria. He paid close attention to what was going on in other regions of the country and even abroad. And he allowed himself to be challenged and inspired by those developments to offer even a greater leadership. This spirit of healthy, vigorous competition is what our political leaders of today need to imbibe more seriously. When we push ourselves this way, it benefits everyone. Development happens faster, quicker, faster, at a greater space, and never slows down. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in just 2 months from now, unfortunately, we'll be commemorating the 60 years anniversary of the unfortunate January 15, 1960 coup d'etat, which not only truncated the fledgling democracy of Africa's most populous country then, still till today, but also tragically cut short the life of several leading politicians in the most horrible circumstances possible. On that fateful day, January 15, 1966, the Arewa house that we stand here today became the site of a violent invasion that left the death and destruction in its wake. But to the credit of the people of the northern Nigeria, they did not allow the Sardauna's compound to fall into the ruins or to be converted into something to fall or into something else entirely. Instead, it was turned into Arewa House, a permanent memorial to one of the greatest African of all time. Today, we are able to gather here surrounded by physical and emotional reminders of the life of Sir Ahmadu Bello. To discuss the journey of Nigeria since 1960, let me take this opportunity to commend, therefore, the Board of Trustees, the Governing Council, and the Executive Director of the Arewa House for keeping the flag flying and remaining committed to the intellectual inquiry and to keep the engagement going. And so what are the lessons from that generation? As we approach the significant 60th anniversary of the passing of Sir Ahmadu Bello, as well as celebrating the 65th independence of our nation, we are challenged to reflect on the journey of nationhood and on the lessons from the architects of our self-governance. As a nation standing at its intersection of memory and aspiration, we must summon the courage to interrogate ourselves honestly. The courage are today's leaders, particularly across the Niger from the north, truly walking in the towers and footsteps of Sir Ahmadu Bello? How many of our political class embody his unwavering commitment to service, his commitment to discipline, and his obsession with human development? Do our policies, do our priorities, and the daily decisions reflect a desire to make him proud, or have we drifted from the values he embodied? These are not just rhetoric questions. These are moral mirrors that held us up here even till today. And unless we confront those questions with sincerity, we cannot hope to transform the lofty ideas we profess into the tangible progresses that our people truly, truly deserves. For Sir Ahmadu Bello's generation of politicians were the people of great ambition. They were bold. They were vocal in their conviction. They made decisions that were sometimes deemed controversial, but they were necessary for growth and development. They planted seeds for future generations, even when people they led did not always have the patience to understand what was being done, long-term benefits. And so the task of being a bold political leader is, of course, that which you will be misunderstood and you misinterpret. But this was a risk they were willing to take at that time. Indeed, anyone who wishes to play into politics arena must be ready to be misunderstood, must be ready to be stereotyped, and at times must be ready to be attacked. These qualities, the bold vision and action, doing the right thing for tomorrow, even if it seems difficult for today, are deeply shared by the man who leads our country today, our president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. In his politics and vision, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, taps heavily into the audacious foresight that defined the likes of Sir Hamadu Bello's generation. The president's renewed hope agenda is therefore a clear testament to this foresight, and he has faithfully implemented his pledges and commitment from the very first day in office on that fateful May 29, 2023. Let me briefly highlight what this renewed hope agenda is all about. It is a governing vision of Mr. President, upon which he campaigned vigorously ahead of the 2023 general election. The agenda, an action plan for a better Nigeria. It comprises of clear 8 pillars. Reform the economy for sustained inclusive growth. Strengthen national security for peace and prosperity. Boost agriculture to achieve food security. Unlock energy and natural resources for sustainable development. Enhance infrastructure and transportation as enablers of growth. Focus on education, health, and social investment as an essential pillar of development. Accelerate diversification through industrialization, digitalization, the creative arts, manufacturing, and innovation. And finally, to improve governance by effective service delivery. You can see that this is a comprehensive agenda that is focused on economic growth and diversification, security in all its ramifications, national security, energy security, health security, food security are all embedded there. National infrastructure, human capital development, and governance reform. You can see clearly that this 8-point developmental agenda is end-to-end, completely inclusive of everyone. And so it's anchored on a progressive thinking and solution. The Renewed Hope agenda is in full alignment with the founding ideas and the long-term direction of our fathers, our leaders here of the All Progressive Congress, the APC. And I dare say that for us also at the state level, the APC governors are encouraged and have drawn from and aligned with the pillars in our various governing states. In Lagos, for example, our Teams Plus agenda fully aligns with the Renewed Hope agenda, emphasizing infrastructure, human capital development, diversifying through entertainment and tourism, security, governance, and social inclusion. This unity of purpose across tiers of government our country If we examine the renewed hope agenda very closely, you will find its roots in the experiences and the lessons learned from Lagos, Nigeria's most populous state and the biggest subnational economy, where Mr. President himself once served as two-time governor about 2 decades ago, and where he laid a solid foundation that the likes of myself continues to keep alive and to strengthen up till this day. And so the president's political journey, of course, did not just begin as governor of Lagos State in 1999. He had earlier served as a senator 6 years earlier, and then spent the intervening years fighting for the actualization of June 12, which was meant to be the freest and the fairest presidential election in our country's history, uniting Nigerians across ethnic and religious lines, a fight for which he paid a very heavy price, as we know. And so over the decades, his political vision has been shaped and nurtured by his experience, culminating in his renewed hope agenda that Lagos has, despite being a subnational, shown national leadership in many key areas. We see is largely due to the credentials of Mr. President when he owned and shaped as governor of the state between 1999 and 2007. As governor of Lagos, his signature successes include the best civil service reform, the best judiciary reform, the most vibrant urban transportation reforms, tax reforms, land administrative reforms, and all these are underpinned by impressive levels of digitalizing and automation at all levels. Far-reaching reforms are the heart of this renewed hope agenda. As you all know, the first decision our president took on assuming office right there at the Eagle Square was removing the petrol subsidy. A difficult decision to make, the one with significant costs of living implications for Nigerian people. And the president himself has always acknowledged this. But it was necessary. We were not going to survive for much longer as a country if we carried on with that level of fiscal burden that was rife with abuse and corruption. I think Mr. President deserves another round of applause for that singular day. Another major decision was the unification of our exchange rates to close another area where the country was losing billions and billions of dollars in revenue every year, and with no outcomes that were productive for the economy. A third major fiscal reform has been the introduction and the passage of presidential assent to 4 tax acts, unprecedented in scope in our recent history. The goal of these new tax laws is to grow our tax revenues without imposing any additional burden on the most vulnerable in our society. For emphasis and for example, the turnover threshold at which the medium and small enterprises are all exempted from company income tax, capital income tax, have been increased from 25 million to 100 million. This means that all companies with gross annual earning of less than 100 million are exempted fully from company income tax and capital gains tax. In addition, any income of less than 800,000 and below are all fully exempted from personal income tax, while the list of goods and services exempted on value added has been expanded. Collectively, this fiscal regime and reforms represent a hard reset for the Nigerian system, a reset from dysfunctional, a reset from inefficiency, a reset from wasteful consumption, and a reset from lack of productivity. The country now has a new engine on which it can run and operate its full potential. The reformed foundation of renewed hope has not just become about blocking leakages. Even more importantly, it's about increasing the quantum of reserves available to drive real and sustainable growth and development in all nooks and crannies of our country. Nigeria has so many urgent and important needs. There are needs of road infrastructure, rail lines, power plants, dam and irrigation, world-class schools and hospitals, well-equipped and motivated security architecture, and many more. And so for too long, the resources that should have gone to these cornerstones of development have all been lost in leakages to fiscal system that had built, that were surviving only and serving only a privileged few. And so today, that story has changed. Ask any state, including my state, including your state here in Kaduna, or ask any local government chairman today and hold all of them accountable. They will tell you just how much revenue have surged under the watch of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. There is now more money to do more that benefits every Nigerian. Having been governor himself, President Tinubu not only knows what it is to run a subnational, he also understands very deeply the role that state and local government play in the actualization of national development. That is why he has put so much focus on empowering these two tiers of government. Between 2023 and 2024, fiscal allocation to states had grew by over 50%, almost to third, while those of local government has grew by almost 50% as well. So that platform, I believe, will continue, and it is set to even grow further in the year 2026 with the new tax laws, which we believe will reduce government shares of VAT from 15% to 10%, while raising the shares of state and local government areas to 55 and 35. Yet, another demonstration of the length, he has to sit well, of the length to which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will go for the collective good, and not for personal gain. I stand here as a real beneficiary, as a direct beneficiary of those interventions. I have a local government chairman here that have joined me on this journey as a direct beneficiary, as a confirmation of the things that we're talking about. And I know that my brother, Governor Ubasani, is doing similar thing here in Kaduna with all of your chairmen. It goes to show that, Mr. President, I've done this good for collective benefit of all Nigerians, not for personal gains. For the local governments, it took the matter for their financial autonomy all the way to the Supreme Court and made a convincing case that secured this historic judgment in favor of the local government. It's equally committed to ensuring the full implementation of the financial autonomy of that tier of government. It's closest to the people and to the aspiration and desires of Nigerians. The tireless reformer that he is, the president is now on a quest to extend the reform and restructuring to Nigeria's security architecture in a manner that has never been seen since the year 1960. I'm referring here to the issues around state policy, which is most accurately described as an arrangement that empowers state governments to have greater say in the security of their states and local communities. Just last month, while the president was receiving a delegation of eminent Katsina leaders led by Governor Diko Umaru Rada, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, said, and I quote, "I'm reviewing all aspects of security. I have to create state police. We're looking at that holistically. We will defeat insecurity. We must protect our children, protect our people, livelihood. We must protect our place of worship and recreational spaces." This was a speech from Mr. President, even before anybody in any country that I'm still going to talk about come and talk about insecurity in our country. When the president set out to achieve a fundamental reform, we know that regardless of all odds, regardless of any challenge, he will, working and carrying along all stakeholders, this man will achieve his objectives. His life mission is therefore eloquently captured in his 2024 New Year's address to this great nation, where he said, and I quote again, "Fellow Nigerians, my major ambition in government as a senator in the aborted Third Republic, as governor of Lagos State for 8 years, and now as the president of this blessed nation, of this blessed country, is to build a fair and equitable society and close the widening gap of inequality." End of quote. That is a speech from our commander-in-chief. While I believe the rich should enjoy their legitimately earned wealth, our minimum bargain must be that any Nigerian that works hard and diligent enough will have a chance to get ahead of life. That's a man that has passion. That's a man that has empathy. That's a man that wants the best for every Nigerian. That's a man that always thinks about the vulnerable, the lowest of the pyramid at all times. Mr. President is a veteran unifier. He's a bridge builder. And is a self-evident from the breadth and the vastness of his personal and political network across Nigeria and even African continent. And I can very boldly say that bridge building is what Renewed Hope agenda is all about. The agenda seeks to build bridges of impactful reforms, bridges of enduring development, bridges of collective prosperity, and of equity and national unity. And it is doing this with the understanding that Nigeria is a large and diverse country comprising various regions that must be allowed to advance in a way that is compatible with their specific contexts and circumstances. On Saturday, March 27, 2021, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then national leader of the All Progressive Congress, as then was, chaired the 2021 Sardauna Memorial Lecture held in this same place, the Arewa House, Kaduna. In his remark on that occasion, he said, regarding the design and implementation of unique and tailored development models for Nigeria, and I quote, "What I advocate is something that can be applied to both the common and unique developmental challenges of the North and the South, so that the nation moves in unison without any group or region feeling left out or estranged from national progress." A man that have said this even 2 years before he became the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. This nuanced appreciation of unique differences across Nigeria on account of geography and culture is a key element of the philosophy underpinning President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. And I dare say is also something he shares with the late Sardauna himself and his generation of independence era statesmen. They understood that development is never a one-size-fits-all conversation. For example, as the questions of Nigerian independence from Great Britain gained momentum, Sir Hamadu Bello envisioned a time when Nigeria's region will be able to, I quote, "There are differences, grievances, prejudices, but tribal and political suspicions and fears, and agree on the fundamental principles of self-government." Whether this happened or not before October 1st, 1960, or whether it happened since then, it is up for historians to discuss and to debate. As I look forward, I said in my earlier speech that the late Sardauna was someone who deliberately allowed himself to be challenged by the development he saw in other regions of this country. Whether it is the state policing, or its local government autonomy, or presidential legacy infrastructural projects connecting our cities, or opening up our rural areas, any development that will endure must be homegrown, it must be local, and it must be bottom-up. I dare say that I'm reminded of the words of Sir Ahmadu Bello on the vision of the Northern People's Congress, the political party that he ran as president from 1949 until his death. Our aims were very simple: to develop the country to the fullest extent in the shortest time, to preserve peace, good order, and friendly relations between all our different people, to conduct an efficient and impartial administration, to ensure for all freedom of thoughts, freedom of religion, and to do good to all men. More than 6 decades later, these words still ring with truth and power. It stands as an eloquent and a timeless challenge to those of us that are striving to build on the legacies of those who walked ahead of us. We must study their lives and their examples and learn from their successes and especially their shortcomings. I dare say that no one is perfect. Politics and public service are not about perfection. Instead, they are about constantly improving, constantly fine-tuning, constantly reforming, planting trees we might not even be around to enjoy, building to leave behind a better country and a better planet that the one we inherited. And therefore, we begin to close like this, with a strong message of hope, of unity, for these times that we are in. Difficult times, I say, against the backdrop of challenges that are confronting our nation, including very controversial claims from United States government about religious persecution and intolerance. We will continue to reaffirm that Nigeria is proudly multi-ethnic. Nigeria is proudly multi-religious. Nigeria is proudly multicultural country, where the things that bind us together are far weightier, they are far bigger than whatever seek to separate us or divide us. At a time when we're seeing our country being removed from grey lists. At a time when even in the international investment market, the bond in Nigeria is trading 4 times what we expect. At a time in which our currency is getting stronger than it has ever been in the last 3 years. At a time in which we're controlling and we're connecting across the Niger, we're seeing infrastructure being constructed from the south to the east, from the north to the west. At a time in which things are beginning to look up, where our fiscal discipline are becoming a thing of joy, where our macroeconomic dynamics are becoming indices, where our GDP is growing up, nobody can divide us. We therefore stand together as citizens, as comrades, firm in our conviction about our common destiny. God has put us together for a purpose. We shall achieve that purpose without distraction or division. We shall defeat every challenge. Challenge of poverty, challenge of hunger, and as the president has further consistently assured us, challenge of terrorism we shall defeat as well. As His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, reminded us earlier, was it last week? The task ahead is immense, but it is our resolve to move forward with unity and purpose, guided by the renewed hope agenda to build a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria. I want to thank you. May God bless Almighty, crown all of our efforts as a country with resounding success. I thank you all for your attention. God bless Arewa House. God bless Kaduna State. God bless Lagos State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all. And I just want to correct myself, address His Excellency, former Deputy Governor of Kaduna as a former governor. Maybe I'm speaking prophetically. Thank you very much. It was a former governor of Kaduna State. He was former Governor Yaro was a former governor of Kaduna State. No. Please accept my apology. Thank you very much.
There's a round of applause for His Excellency one more time. Please, can we show him Arewa love by giving him a bigger round of applause? Thank you so much.
She was an amazing driver, like.
Cameraman, your podium, quickly. That video on the governor of Lagos State, quickly let it play before I say anything.
Hi, I'm Honey from AUK Racing Team. I've been in Nigeria since Tuesday, setting up our race bed team. Nigeria is lovely. It's not what we expected. The people here are really friendly. They love spicy food, so there are also spicy food over here in Lagos. I love the jollof rice. It's similar to what we have back home.
Your Excellency, the distinguished chairman of this occasion, permit me to very warmly appreciate you for that very scholarly presentation. They said the video is ready. If you can have it for just a few seconds, please. We're going to be taking a few goodwill messages. But before then, Mr. Chairman, permit me to recognize
Race bed team. Nigeria is lovely. It's not what was this thing.
Now, that was the Arewa Think Tank's 65th Independence Anniversary Lecture held at Arewa House in Kaduna with Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. As the keynote speaker, the event highlighted Nigeria's journey since independence and the importance of unity and collaboration in tackling the nation's challenges.